Welcome to the City of Bakersfield Planning Commission meeting. This television broadcast is brought to you by the local cable companies, the County of Kern, and the City of Bakersfield. You can watch the rebroadcast of this meeting Saturday at 7 p.m. and Sunday at 10 a.m. The agenda for this meeting can be downloaded at www.bakersfieldcity.us. Presiding over this evening's meeting, Chair Daniel Cater.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to call to order the May 19th, 2022 Planning Commission meeting. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Chair Cater,
Here.
Vice Chair Bashertash,
Here.
Commissioner Biddle, Commissioner Coman,
Here.
Commissioner Lomas,
Here.
Commissioner Neal, here. Commissioner Wade.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for attending tonight's Planning Commission meeting. This commission provides an opportunity for public participation in the development process throughout the City of Bakersfield. The Planning Commission considers a wide variety of projects, including subdivision maps, zone changes, general plan amendments, and much more. When applications are received, the City's Planning Division analyzes the request. Planning staff will present the facts about the project along with their recommendation to the Planning Commission, who will approve an item or make a recommendation as appropriate. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Agenda item number 3, public statements.
Does anyone in the audience wish to address the commission regarding items listed on tonight's agenda? Please note if you are here for non-consent public hearing item 6A, this is not the time to speak. You will be given an opportunity to speak when that item is called later in the meeting. Seeing no speakers for items on the agenda tonight, does anyone in the audience wish to address the commission regarding items not listed on tonight's agenda? If so, please come forward and state your name. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Agenda item number 4, consent calendar items.
Thank you. All matters listed under the consent items do not require a public hearing and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of said items unless staff or a commissioner requests specific items be discussed and or removed for discussion and separate action. May I get a motion approving the consent items with incorporation of staff's memorandum?
Can I comment? Was there a correction to the minutes?
There was a correction to the minutes. It was a clerical error with a copy and paste. So the correction is to put the correct approval project down.
So do we have the corrected copy, or how do we make that motion?
The printed copy is for us, and I think it was distributed via email, I think earlier in the day. So if commissioners would like to take a moment to read it, we can, I'll take a moment to read it, and then I'll look for a motion to approve consent calendar items.
So I'll make a motion to approve the agenda from the May 5th, 2022 meeting,
Thank you.
the revised edition.
Thank you, Commissioner Coman. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Lomas. Commissioners, please cast your votes.
Motion is approved with Vice Chair Bashertash abstaining and Commissioner Wade absent.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
And I would just like for the record to reflect that Commissioner Biddle is here now.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 5, consent public hearings.
Now is the time for consent public hearing items. Please note, if the item is not removed by a commissioner, staff, or a member of the public, the commission will vote on all items in one motion without further comment. If an item is removed, it will be placed at the end of the non-consent public hearing items. At this time, I will open all of the consent public hearing items. Does any member of the public wish to remove a consent public hearing item? Seeing no member of the audience, does any commissioner or staff wish to remove a consent public hearing item? Seeing no commissioners or staff, at this time, the consent public hearing items 5A through 5D are now closed. May I get a motion to adopt staff's recommendation on the consent public hearing items not removed, incorporating all staff memorandum and revised staff recommendations? I do have one clarification with the motion. Do we need to specify that item 5D is being continued to the next meeting, or is that implicit in?
It's implicit, but you can, item 5D is being continued to July 21st, 2022.
Okay, please note that. Yep. Okay, may I have a staff, or not a staff, a commissioner?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Bashtash. May I have a second? Commissioner Neal. Commissioners, please cast your vote.
Motion is approved with Commissioner Wade absent.
Okay, Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Agenda item number 6, non-consent public hearings.
Now is the time for non-consent public hearing items. Before we begin, I would like to explain how each hearing will be conducted. Staff will first give a report, then those in favor of the project will be allowed to speak. Those in opposition to the project will be able to speak after all of those in favor have spoken. Each side will be given 5 minutes to provide rebuttal comments. Individual speakers may ask questions during their statements, but the questions will not be answered until the public hearing on that item is closed. Written comments may also be given to the clerk, who will provide copies to the commission. Please remember to be respectful of others participating in the hearing by not repeating the remarks of previous speakers and presenting any new comments in a clear and concise way. Mr. Johnson, would you please provide us your staff report on item 6A?
Yes, thank you. Good evening, commissioners, members of the audience. Your commission seldom hears street renaming, so we thought it was appropriate to provide some background by presenting this, plus it is an important project. It's located in southeast Bakersfield, more specifically between South High School and Prosperity Elementary School. The Greensfield Union School District in May of last year did some public outreach to identify a renaming of Plantation Elementary School. That district in December of last year approved the formal name change to Prosperity Elementary School. In keeping with the rebranding of the area, the district has come back asking for a street name change from Plantation Avenue to Prosperity Way to match the school. And this entire section of the street is 800 feet long. Provide a little background on the street naming process. Overall, it's a pretty simple process, but identifying an acceptable name can be a challenge. And therefore, a lot of street renamings are rejected at staff level. When a request comes in, they give us 3 options to consider. First, we consider if it's a reasonable request. For example, are they just asking to do a street rename because it's too long to spell and they want something shorter? That's usually not a reasonable request. We also look at duplicate names. If there's another street with that same name elsewhere within the metropolitan Bakersfield area. We look at similar sounding names, such as Lindsay, spelled 2 different ways, but it's pronounced the same, so that would be rejected. We look at the suffix that's being requested, whether it's street, avenue, road, drive, lane. because those are assigned either north-south streets, east-west streets, local streets, collector streets. We look at see if the name is appropriate to other named streets in the area. So if you're in a neighborhood with tree names such as alder, pine, oak, we don't want to insert a name like Katani Street that wouldn't match the area. And then we also look at pronounceability to make sure it's something that can be easily pronounced, somewhat easily pronounced. Once we have those names and there's no conflict, then we'll send it out to public agencies, primarily Kern County, so they can look at it, and then first responders, and we accept their comments back. Finally, we look at the addressing on the street, and in this case, there's only one property owner that's taking an address off the street, and that is the school. So we felt that this name request is applicable. So if it is approved by your commission, it takes about 90 days to take effect. City staff will make the signs at no charge to the applicant. We'll install the new signs, and then we notify the 911 administrator so they can update their records. During this time, it is the owner's responsibility to contact the post office, the utility companies, and any other pertinent items that have their name on it. With that, staff believes the request is supportable, and we recommend a favorable motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. The public hearing is now open. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak in favor of the project? If so, please step to the microphone, identify yourself, and proceed.
Good evening. Ramon Hendricks, Greenfield Union School District Superintendent. Good evening, and thank you for considering this matter. This evening, thank you for the presentation. You said everything I was prepared to say about it. The Greenfield Union School District Board of Trustees approved the name change of this school. We're excited to move forward with Prosperity Elementary School and would like to recommend approval for this street name change. The one question I had, and I know it can't be answered in this hearing, is about the 90 days. In my world in education, we change things as of July 1, and school starts on August 17th. I'm wondering if between August 1 and August 17th, the names could be changed if and when the name change is approved. If you have any questions for me as a school district, I'd be happy to answer them now or later in the presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Hendricks. There'll be a time for questions after we've given the audience an opportunity to speak. Are there any other members of the audience wishing to speak in favor of the project? Okay. Seeing no additional speakers in favor, is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak in opposition to the project? If so, please step to the microphone, identify yourself, and proceed. Seeing no speakers in opposition, does any commissioner have any questions for the public or staff on this item? Remember, this is not the time to express any opinions on the matter, only to ask questions. Commissioner Coleman.
I'll just ask the staff to answer the superintendent's question about the timing. Is this 90 days thing a hard and fast deal, or, I mean, he's the only property on the street, so.
No, the reason, like I say, it's approximately 90 days. We have a 10-day appeal period. After that 10 days, then we'll initiate our action with Public Works and with the 911 administrator, and they can start theirs right now. I would just note, though, that the plantation actual street sign may take up to approximately 90 days to change that out. Because again, city staff, Public Works is making the sign, and then they'll have the manpower to go out and change it.
Thank you. I don't have any further questions.
Coleman, are there any other commissioners' questions? Seeing no additional questions, and as there were no speakers in opposition, I will now I will forego the rebuttal period, and we'll close the public hearing and return this to the commission for comment and action. Are there any commissioner comments? Commissioner Bashertash.
I would like to make a motion to adopt staff's approval or their recommendation for approval.
Okay, thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Commissioner Biddle. Commissioners, please cast your votes.
Motion is approved with Commissioner Wade absent.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Agenda item 7, communications.
Does staff have any communication items?
Yes, we will have a meeting on June 2nd and also on June 16th. The June 16th will include a workshop on the pro-housing designation, and that'll be conducted or performed by Development Services Director Christopher Boyle.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Agenda item 8, commission comments.
Do any commissioners have any comments at this time? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Agenda item number 9, adjournment.
This meeting is adjourned at 5:46. Have a great evening.